Like, by the way, Whitney just had a baby. We put a dead baby next to her.
Yeah, guys,
sorry.
this is...
What do we do?
I assume.
Some plural? Jesus.
They're back to haunt you.
But I...
This is you and Schaub's kid. Oh, no.
Whatever happened to 7 weeks?
Okay, you and Schaub's kid, goddamn Mark. Of all the conspiracy theories we've talked about on this podcast. Callan!
Just kidding.
Schaub's whiskey's $90 a bottle, and Bodega Cat is only $40.
What is the logic on pricing? Like, how do you even...
We're men of the people.
We respect our fans, and we don't want them to overpay for our whiskey.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's sick. And then, what is his called?
Tiger Thick. Oh, it's 60. He lowered it.
It used to be 90.
Does it
Wow.
cure CTE?
Ah.
We love you.
In the neon-lit underbelly of the comedy podcast circuit, where microphones serve as both confessional booths and grenade launchers, few exchanges crackle with the electric mischief of Mark Norman's latest verbal grenade lobbed across the table at Whitney Cummings. Norman, the Boston-bred wordsmith, whose stand-up specials like Soup to Nuts and Out to Lunch have etched him as the thinking man's heckler, equal parts self-deprecating neurosis and observational scalpel, found himself in the hot seat of his own co-hosted arena, We Might Be Drunk, alongside the ever-game Sam Morrill. The episode, a boozy ramble through the absurdities of parenthood, celebrity whispers, and the inexorable pull of past flames, veered into deliciously taboo territory when Norman, with the timing of a seasoned assassin, floated a paternity bombshell tied to Cummings' newborn. It was the kind of offhand zinger that masquerades as jest but lands with the thud of half-buried truth, leaving Cummings visibly caught off guard, yet pivoting with the grace of a comic who's danced this tango before. The implication? That her bundle of joy might bear the genetic imprint of Brendan Schaub, the hulking ex-UFC fighter turned podcast bro, whose own history with Cummings whispers of a premarital fling hot enough to fuel a dozen Reddit rabbit holes. Norman's delivery, as always, was a masterclass in plausible deniability, delivered with a smirk that could disarm a bomb squad. His eyes twinkling under the studio lights like he was recounting a Bodega Cat's latest heist rather than dredging up a potential love child. Cummings, fresh off the hormonal roller coaster of new motherhood in late 2023, met the quip with a flicker of surprise that bloomed into her signature wry deflection, alluding obliquely to an old flame that flickered just before Schaub's domestic bliss with Joanna Zanella solidified. It wasn't outright denial. It was the comic's art of rolling with the punch, turning vulnerability into volley. In a world where comedians mine their messes for gold, this moment encapsulated the genre's peculiar alchemy, shock as spice, scandal as setup, and the audience as unwitting therapist. Norman, no stranger to exposing his own relational wreckage, from his 2022 marriage to Virginia Montana's amid New Year's come-down tour chaos, wielded the rumor like a prop comic's oversized mallet, smacking at the invisible strings connecting comedy's glitterati. To unpack this, one must first orbit the solar system of Cummings' romantic cosmology, a constellation dotted with high-profile hookups that have fueled tabloid telescopes since her Chelsea lately breakout in 2007. Born in 1982 to a fractured Catholic clan in Virginia, Cummings channeled early dysfunction into a comedic persona that's equal parts feminist firebrand and flirtatious provocateur. Her ascent, co-creating two broke girls while starring in the eponymous Whitney, both axed amid middling reviews, but launching her as a multi-hyphenate force, was punctuated by liaisons that blurred professional and personal lines. There was the rumored tumble with Peter Berg in 2012, the Friday Night Lights auteur whose intensity mirrored her own. A brief, fiery detour with Matt Rife in 2023 that she playfully amplified on Instagram amid her pregnancy reveal, quipping about his last egg claim in a nod to their shared stand-up circuit sparks. But lurking in the shadows, the most tantalizing tether is to Schaub, the 6 feet 4 inches Colorado colossus whose MMA octagon exploits gave way to Mike-side machismo on The Fighter and The Kid. Their entanglement, pieced together from podcast breadcrumbs and fan forensics, dates back to the mid-2010s, a pre-#MeToo era, when comedy pods were Wilder West saloons. Schaub, fresh off a 2014 UFC retirement and a fleeting romance with Ronda Rousey that painted him as the alpha arm candy, crossed paths with Cummings on Chelsea lately in 2013, where she subbed as guest host and grilled him with that trademark mix of admiration and arch skepticism. Sparks flew off mic. By 2016, Whispers on Joe Rogan Experience forums and Reddits are /Joe Rogan painted a picture of stolen nights, with Cummings' Snapchat teases and Schaub's evasive deflections fueling speculation. An infamous 2016 Fighter and the Kid episode saw the pair dance around floral faux pas, Schaub spotting a suitor's bouquet at her pad, Cummings ribbing his baby mama woes with a tension thick as fog, hinting at a liaison that teetered on the edge of his engagement to Zanella. Brian Callen, Schaub's co-host and occasional third wheel, even entered the lore with tales of awkward advances, adding a layer of bro-code breach that comedy insiders still chuckle over. This interplay underscores a broader comedy cosmos truth, the podcast as modern speakeasy, where stars like Cummings, whose Good For You pod once hosted Norman and Giannis Pappas in a 4-hour psych-out that left Rogan buzzing, shed skins under the influence. We Might Be Drunk launched in 2021 as Normand and Morrill's Liquid Lunch Confab has ballooned into a 200-plus episode behemoth, blending Rex, Morrill's You Allow This? Bits, with roasts that rival open mic burns. The Schaub illusion woven into chats on new dad woes and whiskey pricing. A detour into Bodega Cat's $9 bargain bottles, a Norman vanity project born of pandemic pivots, wasn't scripted sabotage but spontaneous sorcery, the kind that propels clips to viral Valhalla, amassing millions of views as fans parse paternity probabilities. This is the new ecosystem of celebrity, one where truth is no longer an anchor, but a current. Everything moves, shifts, and mutates based on the rhythm of the algorithm. Podcasts like Norman's are less about information and more about performance, about the illusion of unscripted intimacy. And when the conversation turns personal, when it brushes up against tabloid terrain, it's not an accident. It's a mechanism. Because controversy, even in jest, drives engagement. What's compelling here is not the possibility that the joke had any factual basis. It's that it didn't need one. The audience doesn't require evidence. It requires emotion. Norman's humor works precisely because it dances on that knife edge between audacity and absurdity. He says the thing no one's supposed to say, and in doing so, reaffirms comedy's central tension, the thrill of hearing what should remain unsaid. In the wake of that exchange, one could sense the collective fascination, that mix of curiosity and discomfort that powers modern entertainment. It wasn't about Whitney's private life, really. It was about watching a boundary being tested in real time. The allure of podcasts like these lies in their unpredictability, in the sense that something could go off script at any moment. When it does, the internet leans in closer. There's also something deeply reflective about how these comedians navigate exposure. They operate in a media environment that rewards oversharing as authenticity, yet punishes vulnerability as weakness. For every heartfelt confession, there's an audience ready to dissect motives. For every moment of levity, there's a clip editor waiting to isolate a sentence, strip it of context, and repackage it for virality.